So when you hear the word Escalade, most people have associated that with the pinnacle in automotive luxury. But not many people have had the opportunity to actually walk around, see what makes an Escalade an Escalade. So when we traded in this 22, I thought today would be a great day to walk around and show most of you what all comes with a pre-owned Escalade. So my name is Marshall Becker, I'm the Cadillac manager here, so come with me as we walk around some of the features here. So starting with the front grille, most people are used to nowadays, or at least in modern vehicles it's becoming more popular, with a front-facing camera. But most people don't notice with an Escalade that there are actually multiple cameras up front. So not only do you get that nice surround view backup camera when you're pulling into the garage, but if you look way down low in the bottom lip of the front bumper, that is actually an infrared camera that will be feeding that night vision view, which we can take a look at when we get to the driver section of the vehicle. As well as there are two cameras way up front behind that rear view mirror. And you can also do an augmented reality view as well. We'll also touch on a little bit later. But let's jump to the back and kind of take a look at a couple of the features back there. So the Escalade, a lot of luxuries, but it also is a workhorse. So it comes with, you can tow things up to 9,000 pounds with the receiver hitch that's hidden under the cover there, as well as plenty of storage for cargo, suitcases, for those nice long road trips. You have some additional storage underneath there, as well as power reclining third row, as well as second row release. And then you do have your standard 120 volt plug back here. So if you are bringing a cooler, refrigerator, something like that, you can certainly have that running as well. So jumping in the second row, you'll first see, as you look in, the nice quilted stitch seats on this one, which is unique. But the other kind of nice thing, there's a button right inside the door. Press it once, lay the seat flat. Press it a second time, it'll pop that up, making it nice and easy, even for those of us who are over 6 feet tall, sit in the back. You'll notice there is going to be some additional leg room down, so this is an improvement over some of the last generations. There is a footwell for that third row. And if I pull this seat up, with the front seat slid all the way forward, you can see there is plenty of space for the third row. And if I slide that back a little ways, which a little difficult to do from here, but all the way back, I still have, the knees are against it, so obviously kids would this be more designed for that, but you do have plenty of leg room for the adults as well. There are also some conveniences back here for those third row passengers. There are USB charging outlets in the back, as well as this one with the upgraded AKG sound system. There's actually a microphone right here, which that comes a little handy in a little bit. And for those rear passengers, if they want to be watching, Hulu, Netflix, YouTube, different items like that, you do have these very large second row screens with a couple HDMI ports down there. So if you do want to bring your video game console along, or say a Roku stick or something like that, you can plug into that, connect up to the Wi-Fi hotspot that's built into the vehicle, and be able to cast whatever you want for those longer road trips. Jumping to the control center, you have a ton of features right at the driver's fingertips. Most of it is touchscreen, but they do also add some physical buttons as well to make it a little bit more convenient. But let's start up here, which, since we were just coming from the back rows, this is where a lot of those controls are going to be with your motion sensors. So if you do park and leave the windows rolled up and somebody reaches in to try to steal something, it will notice that motion and set off the vehicle alarm. Not only somebody doesn't have to break something now for that to be actually setting off the alarms in your vehicle. Still have your garage door openers up top, so you can program those, but kind of the neat features for those of us with larger families are going to be these controls right here. So your back hatch control is all from this center dial. For those of you that may be a little bit more vertically challenged, you do have a shorter garage, you do have that programmable mode, so you don't have to open up that hatch the full extent, as well as if you are packing for a full long road trip and you don't want to accidentally hit that button and dump all your stuff out, you can turn that off. But for the day-to-day drives right here, you can actually now control that third row from the driver's seat. You don't have to go pop the back hatch, lay the seats down manually, or hit the buttons inside. You have the release right here. So if you pull up to Walmart or Target delivery, you don't even have to leave the seat. Moving down from there, you do have that rear camera mirror. This is the second generation of it, so that allows you to change the zoom, the tilt as well as the brightness. And you'll notice there are no blind spots of cargo or passengers behind us, so you have that uninterrupted view of what is going on behind your vehicle. In the shared control space between driver and passenger, you do have your media control. So right down here, proprietary to Cadillac, nothing else in the GM family is going to have this, but this rotary controller right here, you can jog it side to side or up and down, and that will control up here. So if you didn't want to reach, as you're driving and you don't want to reach up front and tap something, you do have those quick buttons right at your fingertip. As well, it does, help lessen the number of fingerprints that are on your touchscreen. Something that GM has been very great at doing is they have kept your HVAC controls all physical buttons. So those of us in North Dakota know how cold January and February can be. You don't have to remove your gloves if you want to change the temperature, unlike some of our competitors. Jumping to the driver control. So from the driver's perspective, you will see there are a ton of controls right at the steering wheel. Most of them that you're probably used to in your vehicle from your cruise control as well as adaptive. But there are a couple extra options here. So right here, the little ear icon, that is conversation enhancement. So for those of you who have people that are sitting in the third row and say they're younger kids that might not enunciate as well or like to mumble and say things under their breath, well, now you can listen in, because with this upgraded AKG system, so if you are not familiar with what AKG is, that is a speaker manufacturer that, until teaming up with Cadillac, is stuck strictly to recording gear. So recording audio for like your artists or making the microphones, the monitors, all of that information. So really high-end audio background in that. And what the conversation enhancement is, that microphone that's in that third row, well, that now comes through the speakers in the headrest of the driver and passenger headrests. And then what the driver and passenger are talking in this microphone will project into the speakers in the third row, so you can have a conversation without shouting at each other. Nice thing with a very large digital display up front. Over on the side of the screen here, I have all of those wonderful controls. And if you remember at the beginning, I talked about all the extra cameras up front. Well, augmented reality, if I hit that, you will see it will actually overlay what's in front of me. And if I had a map or some sort of navigation, it'll actually overlay over said lines and lanes you have to be in. Speaking of the map, I can pull up that map right up in front of me. I guess I need to accept terms and conditions because it's in demo mode right now, as well as it's not going to work the best since it's daytime. Okay, it is actually going to kick out and say it's too bright for it, but night vision out here, it'll actually put that infrared overlay, so it will scan over 100 yards ahead of you and put highlights of pedestrians or animals that are on the side of the road. Being a four-wheel drive capable vehicle, all of your four-wheel drive controls are on the side here with your trailer brake. So like I said, it can tow up to 9,000 pounds. And then these two extra buttons on the side is going to be that air ride system. So if you are driving in winter and need a little bit extra clearance to make it through the snow drifts, you can raise that up. If you need to load something or have somebody that maybe doesn't get into larger vehicles as easy, you can actually drop that to an exit position. So those are just a couple of the features that are extra on the Escalade. And that isn't even touching some of the premium materials and things like ambient control, so you can have customize the lights, your suede headliner, all the little details. You'll see Cadillac stitched in the little body panels, as well as you'll see that little Cadillac crest throughout as you're looking around the vehicle as well. So just when you get to that luxury level, it really comes down to all the little details and some of the technology. So now that you've seen a little glimpse of the Escalade, I strongly suggest stopping by and checking one out in person, finding all the little details, see the fit and feel, actually feel how the leather feels, how that suede is. But if you have any additional questions, I'd be happy to help. My name is Marshall, and check out all of our inventory on SchwannCadillac.com.